Hello everyone, Alicia here with another Lighten Up Weight Watcher friendly recipe, and today's recipe is for baked eggplant parmesan. Now this is one I haven't done in a really long time, but I had some eggplant in my garden that I wanted to get used up, and so I thought what better way than to do eggplant parmesan. This is an older recipe for me. I believe it originated from the WW website, but as is typical for me, I have made several changes to that recipe, so I'm not sure how much it resembles the WW one anymore, but it's very delicious, pretty easy to make as well, and so I wanted to share it with you guys. So let me jump into ingredients real quick and I'll show you what you're gonna need to make this. First off, for the eggplant, I've got 3 of my homegrown ones here, and those are weighing in at just over a pound. And then I also picked one up at the grocery store to kind of supplement mine, and this is a little over a pound and a half. The recipe calls for 2 pounds, so I'm closer to 2.5, but that is all right. So back here, I have got 3 cups of my homemade marinara sauce. You're gonna need 3 cups of whatever type of marinara sauce you wanna use. For the recipe builder, I've got factored in a sauce, a store-bought sauce, that's comparable in points to my homemade here, because I'm not able to add that into the recipe builder for whatever reason. But you are gonna need 3 cups of marinara. In here, I've got a 1/4 cup grated Parmesan. And then in here, I've got 1.5 cups of part skim mozzarella shredded. And then back here, I've got 1.5 cups of panko Italian style breadcrumbs. I've got 2 tablespoons of water, 3 large eggs. I'm gonna be using a teaspoon dried basil. You can use fresh as well, which would be even better in this. I'm gonna be using a little bit of salt to sweat my eggplant. And then finally, some cooking spray. And that is everything that's in this. Not a whole lot of ingredients. Let me get it started. First thing I'm gonna do is get my eggplants sliced up. Now you can peel these if you want, and I'm gonna start by cutting off the ends and the tops. You can peel these if you want. I'm not going to, but I know a lot of people like to peel them. I don't mind the peel on there. It gets nice and soft once it's baked anyway. So I'm gonna slice these in roughly 1/2 inch slices. You can do like 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. But I'm gonna get all these sliced up and then I'll be back. I've got these all sliced up in roughly 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch slices. I try to get them as even as possible. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sweat these, and this is a step you don't have to do. I think it's a good one to do. It's supposed to help with bitterness that you might get from the eggplant, so I like to do it. And it's real simple. Basically what you're gonna do is you're just gonna salt your eggplant lightly on each side, and then you're gonna put it in a colander. So I'll just kind of show you. Put it in a colander, lightly salt it, front and back. And you're gonna do that with all of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill up this colander. It's probably gonna take 2, and then I'll be back. I've got that all salted and laid in my colander here. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this bowl that my eggplant was in, set it on top for a little extra pressure there. And then I'm gonna put this in my sink for about 1/2 hour so that when it starts to release its moisture, it drains into the sink. But I'm gonna give this a good 1/2 hour to sweat, and then I'll be back. I'll let this eggplant sweat actually about 45 minutes. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rinse it off real well to get that salt off of it. And then I'm gonna take some paper towels and kind of pat it dry. I've got my eggplant all rinsed and blotted dry. So now what I'm gonna do is get my breadcrumbs. And I've also got my oven preheating to 375 right now. I'm gonna add in my grated Parmesan, and I'm gonna just mix that together. And now I'm gonna take my eggs, add my 2 tablespoons of water in, and slightly beat those. And I'm gonna take that, and I'm gonna pour it in a shallow dish here. Then I'm gonna grab myself a sheet pan. I'm gonna line it with some parchment paper. Actually, I'm gonna get 2 of them because that's probably what I'm gonna need for this. So now I'm gonna take my slices of eggplant, dip them in the egg, kind of knock off that extra, and then dredge them or lay them in the breadcrumbs and put them on my parchment. So I'm going to just do that with all of these, and then I will be back. Got all my eggplant breaded. Got just a little bit of breading left. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cooking spray and I'm going to just lightly spray the tops of these. And then I'm going to bake these in my preheated oven at 375 until they're softened and a little bit golden and crisp on the outside. That's going to take anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes. But I'm going to flip them after about 15 minutes. So I will be back once these are done. I baked these for 30 minutes. They're softened up nicely. Got some browning on them. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them over and get the eggplant parmesan assembled. Got a 9x9 inch casserole dish here. I'm going to spray it with a little bit of cooking spray. And then I'm going to take about 3/4 cup of my marinara sauce and add this to the bottom of the pan. And I'm going to just spread that on there. And I've also got my oven preheating to 350. I lowered the heat, I should say, from 375 to 350. Now I'm going to take my eggplant. I'm going to just lay it on top of that sauce. Followed by about a 1/2 cup of my shredded mozzarella. I'm going to take another roughly 3/4 cup sauce and just kind of drizzle this on the tops. Followed by another layer of the eggplant. A little more sauce. Top of those. And then my final layer of eggplant. The rest of my sauce. This final amount of sauce, I'm gonna kind of try and spread it on the tops. And then I'm gonna put the rest of my cheese on top. Now I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of dried basil on the top of my cheese. And this is ready to go in the oven at 350 for about 30-40 minutes, or until this is nice and bubbly and that cheese is melted. I let this bake for 30 minutes. It is smelling good. It is bubbling. And that cheese is all melted, so definitely done. I'm gonna let it cool just a little bit before I cut into it and show you what a serving size is. And I'll also have my husband tell you what it tastes like. Got a serving of this cut out here, which is 1/8 of the total is what I've got factored in it. And that is gonna be 4 points. I've let it cool down a little bit, probably not quite as much as I should have, but I'll have my husband tell you what this tastes like. I will say, without even trying this, I can tell that the amount of sauce is probably a little light for as much eggplant as I had and used in this. But as I said in the beginning, this recipe calls for two medium eggplants, or about 2 pounds. And I used probably closer to, I don't know, 2.5. So probably should have used a little more sauce than I did, but that is all I had on hand, already made up. But I would suggest using closer to the 2 pound so that you've got enough sauce, because it's looking a little light, not too bad. It smells amazing. I'm sure it still tastes good, but again, we'll have my hubby try it, tell you what he thinks. Okay, I've got my husband here. It's been a very long time since I've made this, like years, because we don't really do the eggplant thing that much. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I decided to grow it this year, so I had to do something with it. Show the inside there. All right. It smells good, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely light on the sauce, but that's all right. We got extra veggie in there.
That's really good. It's got the, you know, the traditional
flavor.
Parmesan flavor. And I'm not talking about the cheese. This is
Eggplant Parmesan.
Parmesan, not Parmesan.
I know, I always say it wrong too.
Yeah, no, that's great. Really good.
Nice little Italian flavor going on there.
Mm-hmm. And I think that eggplant's perfect. It's not real soft. It's not too firm.
Oh, you mean the baking of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to bake it till it's soft before you put it in there.
Yeah.
So you like it? So what do you think for 4 points?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What about the sauce? It's a little light, isn't it, on the sauce?
For me, no.
Oh, okay.
I could see somebody saying that.
Yeah. I can too. And I mean, personally, I think it's a little bit light. Like, you can see. I don't know.
Yeah, really good flavor.
Not too bad. Again, I had to use up those eggplants.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, guys. Well, that was baked eggplant parmesan. I hope you enjoyed. As always, be sure to check down the description box where you'll find the whole list of ingredients, instructions, WW points, calories, macros, other nutritional info, as well as the WW recipe builder link. All that will be down in the description box below. But thank you as always for watching, and we will see you on the next one.